All right, y'all, we are live. Oh, what is that? We put on the YouTube chat and we'll go over this trade I did not take, but took today. Well, I took it. Break even day for me. But I'm really mad at myself for how I traded. I broke some of my rules, but we'll wait for some more people to get in the TikTok chat. Alrighty, someone's in here. But yeah, I broke my rules today, but I had a break even day. Let's talk about it. This is FOMC, so it doesn't matter. So I basically have been letting the chat just shake my conviction and make me not trust myself. And it wasn't even a comment. Someone just made a comment that we might be consolidating or building liquidity for FOMC, and I let it make me move my stop loss to break even. Obviously, it came up. And then it hit all three of my targets. This was the London low. And then we had the daily low. I don't trade daily lows. And it's funny because everyone's like, oh, daily low, daily low. I mean, it was taken in the afternoon, but you would have been stopped out for FOMC. Daily high was taken first, daily low. I mean, if that's what you traded, that is a good trade, actually. If you waited for FOMC to take the daily high and then take it to the daily low, that's a valid trade. But I don't trade the afternoon. So I'm really mad at myself for letting the chat make me not trust myself, which is funny because I'm always right every time. I'm always right every time. It's actually kind of crazy. If I can get my emotions right, I'd be fucking crazy. But yeah, since I got funded, my emotions, and it's funny because a lot of people say that like they got funded and blew their account immediately. And you know how you don't do that? Paper trade. Be smart. Like is this ICT? Yes. If you don't feel comfortable trading like how I've been trading, just paper trade. Get to your emotions back, and then you'll go. Okay, so let's talk about this trade and why it was so good. It's a lot of fair value gaps being made today, so I'm gonna turn off all these indicators. Okay, I'll just turn off the fair value gap indicator, and I'll break it down time frame by time frame, even though y'all see both charts. So we started on the 4-hour and the 1 hour. So on the 4-hour, we got this daily gap here that I just marked. On a 4-hour, we had a gap somewhere. Maybe we didn't. But we have a breaker. Yeah, it was really just the hour. So on the 1 hour, we had this gap here that we were in at 9:30, 10 o'clock, if that makes sense, okay? And we had already come up here. This is the breaker from yesterday. Yesterday at 9 o'clock, we came down, we came back up, we broke below it. I don't know if you know what a breaker is, but this is like your market structure shift to the downside. So I was like, hopefully we're trading up at this breaker, which we were, and hopefully we come out of this gap, which we did. So that was my confirmation to take sells. I have made videos about it, how I love the 4-minute chart. Daily low, we didn't hit it. We did hit it. FOMC, but I don't trade FOMC. I used to, but I don't. But FOMC always goes up. Like literally, like not always, but like 90% of the time it's going up, and then it'll trade down the rest of the day. I've seen a guy, I'm in a trading group text on Instagram, and he plays FOMC that way. He has a tight stop loss for like $200, and he sets a limit order slightly above where he's at, and then profit $1,000, and it hits every time. It regularly hits every time. Anyway, we were in this bearish gap. We were in the breaker, at the breaker. So we just, as soon as we got in at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock was this red line. We came down and we got a nice market structure shift already. 9:30 people got the top. We swept these London highs, if you can see that. That's why I love a sessions indicator. We swept this high and started reversing, so it was easy just to get in buys right at 10 o'clock. So I went down to the 3-minute, because that's my new entry time frame. I love the 3-minute. And there was a gap right here we were already trading into. But see how we were trading sideways at it, that I waited for a full candle close out of it. So my entry was here, but I had to go on NinjaTrader, so my spread was kind of nasty. My spread was like here, but I wanted it here. If you waited for the fair value gap, it was up here, so my spread was like here. And then we took it to London lows here, and then after someone in the chat was saying that, I might live trade again, not this week, or I'm probably just gonna wait for my Discord. But even in the Discord, I'm not gonna be looking at the chat, y'all. I'm just gonna be trading, giving my ideas. Y'all give your ideas in the chat, and then we'll see what happens after the fact. But yeah, I moved my stop loss to break even once we hit these London lows, and to let the trade run. And I should have kept my stop loss up here because this was a 15-minute stop loss for just those who need to see it. It's on the 15-minute, a great trade. Came down. You could have waited to inverse this gap, which still give you a nice run. Right here, if you want to wait for that, obviously your entry wouldn't have been as high as a 3-minute, but you still waited for a confirmation. Where is that gap at? No, it's this gap here, sorry. We did inverse this gap too, but it was this gap here. Once we inverse this gap, that was the one you would have had your entry at if you just trade the 15-minute. That's why I'm liking the 15 and the 3, but stop loss above the 15-minute high, because see it came up in there, rebalanced into what? A 15-minute gap. And that's also why when I said it, like when I moved my stop to break even, I was like, look at this beautiful fucking 15-minute gap we came into. Which is kind of what you want, honestly. I've said that. I had this gap marked. I said for a 4-hour power of 3, you wanted to go up into a gap and then go lower for sells, and then for buys you want to go down into a gap and then bounce off for buys. But I thought we were going to go up to this one maybe, but we did not. That was that. Let's see what it looked like on the 3-minute actually, because I probably should have waited for, yeah, that was the second. So this is at 10 o'clock and that was at 10:42. And I said that. I said this is probably just going back up into a gap to go lower. And I know the guy who's saying that we might consolidate for FOMC, he didn't like this price action, but this is just normal price action. This is normal, nothing to be scared about. Just for beginners, like you can just hold this out. But yeah, really disappointed in myself for not holding that trade and letting the chat get to me. I was fine live trading on the funded account. Now that on the eval, but now that I'm funded, it's a little different. So I'll still probably live trade like every now and then, I guess, like maybe on Friday, not tomorrow. But easy, beautiful, easy day for the morning session. And then obviously FOMC is pretty, I think FOMC is easy to trade. Either you take this, it ran up first, by the way, so you wouldn't have got stopped out first. It would have ran up and then stopped you out and then ran up again. Or you wait for this full candle to close, and then you play the reversal here off this inverted fair gap here. Candle close down, or wait for the tap back up, boom, tanked, and took out the daily low, which is a beautiful trade as well. So the 3-minute has really been my entry, or 15-minute sometimes. I barely go in 3-minute. I like the 15-minute, but it's a nice trade right there. Beautiful trade for FOMC. I'm sure a lot of gurus took this trade, but that's all you need, y'all. Liquidity and gap. So today I want to back test, honestly, just the 15-minute and the 3-minute, and I want to see if you could just trade. Obviously, we had a higher time frame bias and analysis. You should never neglect that because it was clear today. But I want to see if you could just trade liquidity to liquidity on the 3-minute and the 15-minute without using a super higher time frame bias. You always should use one, which is and we're above the 8:30 open. We came back above the 8:30 open at 10 o'clock, ran down. Beautiful trade. FOMC also beautiful trade. This is a little choppy though, and I don't like trading at 3, but a lot of people like trading at 3. Like when I traded options, I did actually. The first hour of the day and then the last hour of the day are usually pretty good, but now I trade not even. I like to trade 10 to 12. I don't even care about the first 30 minutes of the day anymore. But to each their own. But yeah, today, now we're gonna back test the 3-minute and the 15-minute. But let me set my chart back to how I like to have it in the morning. 1 hour and 4 hour. Yeah, see, there's a gap. Sorry, there's a 4 hour gap. I didn't have my indicator on. This is why I have my indicator on, my fair value gap indicator. Like, y'all be acting like it's just weird to have, not y'all, gurus be acting like it's so weird to have fair value gaps, but it's like, it was an old fair value gap. It was a inverse old one, and I think we bounced out of it this morning. And it lined up with another one to inverse. Like 2 fair value gaps in the 4 hour. We were at those. And then we had that one on the 1 hour that was clear. So we'll see where we go tomorrow. I think we finally took out those highs that I've been wanting to chase all fucking. Actually, we still haven't taken out these highs. I don't know why We're fighting these highs. I don't know what bank or what millionaire or billionaire has all their orders sitting up there, but we cannot get up to this high to save our lives. Okay, but yes, let's go to back testing. 15 minute, 3 minute. Next New York session. Okay, so I put next New York session. There we go. Alrighty. Looks like we're probably doing a reversal from one of these points. We can make the 15-minute big just to see. There is a gap here that I think lines up with those liquidity points pretty nicely, actually. Yes. I mean, it's a little higher than I would like. But, yeah, it is the gap. So, maybe we come up, tap into this gap, and then reverse from there. Is what it's giving. Let's see. But I'm trying to see if without even the hour or the 4 hour, if we can find, you know, a nice trade up into the Asian lows or the London lows or something. Let's see. Like I said, are y'all back testing? If y'all want to learn how to trade, you need to be back testing. You'll be profitable in like months if you back test. Sorry, I'm so zoomed out. All right, we're in this gap. It's 9:30 for the 9:30 traders. Let's see what we get at 10 o'clock. This is why I like waiting until 10 o'clock, because you've been like, oh, I'm getting buys. I mean, they did give us a nice move back into this gap and pushing out, and we're getting a nice inverse value gap here. I think if we get a candle close, you can get buys, but where's our next liquidity target? For buys, I don't like. It's so far. We're not going up there. Maybe we're just going to this gap. Jeez Louise. Let's see. Yeah, maybe we're just going to the second gap. So I probably would not. We do inverse here, but I don't think it's worth it if we're just going to the second gap. Maybe that's where we reverse from. Or we don't. We're just going to keep going higher. Okay, yeah, that's just the day we wouldn't trade. I mean, that was not that bad. I did have this gap marked here for inverse. This is what we're talking about, where sometimes the higher time frame bias to me will make me like not want to get in trade because we can reverse from here. But that's why I like the 3 minute, because the 3 minute it doesn't really fake you out as much. I already broke down my trade today. If you got in the chat too late, then you missed it. I always start off breaking down my trade today, and I did that already. I start at 8 o'clock Eastern every time. So yeah, that's not a bad trade off the 3 minute. That's why we talking about how like the 3 minute kind of trumps sometimes. But yes, I already went over my trade today. I'm sorry to you if you got in late. I already went over my trade and how I took it, and there's 2 good setups today with FOMC. I love trading news days. People who say they don't trade news days, sorry to you. It's a lot of good money on news days. Okay. We clearly have a big ass gap up here. Actually, let's see if we can only trade the 3 minute. Let's see what it would look like if you just only came on the 3 minute without any higher time frame bias. We already came out of this gap here. 10 o'clock. Are we gonna bounce? And we have a breaker here. If you're very bearish, That could be your trade. Let's see. Boom. I mean, it happened before 10 o'clock though. 9:30 came up in this breaker and this gap back to this gap. This is our trade though here. The 10 AM reversal. We already hit this gap twice now, but this is a nasty gap to inverse, which I don't like. But candle close, maybe stop below the gap, take out the Asian highs or the high of the previous day. Okay, I feel like too with boom. I think with charts, because people love the daily highs and the daily lows, it's not going to take out both. I've learned that as well. It's not. It'll take out one. It'll either sweep buy side, go low, but not all the way to the low, or we won't take out the daily low, as we did not, but then we'll take out the high. We're not going to take out both. So this is why I talk about how you don't have to worry about what happens at 9:30. 9:30 traders, yes, they got a good setup. Fair value gap to fair value gap. We got a nice reversal though, was the trade of the day. This is what we're talking about. And or sometimes at noon, this is the first, 2 hours of the 10 AM candle. That could be the trade of the day. It's going to happen in this 10 AM, this 4-hour candle, but the first 2 hours is all I trade. So sometimes I get the biggest move. Sometimes it's a nice move, and then the afternoon gets the bigger move. But you see how that? Just off of 3 minute only. I've really been liking the 3 minute. And then you can simplify your trading. The only thing that sucks is like when there is a higher time frame thing, like say there's a big 4-hour gap right here and you wanted to take profit up here and we just reverse from here, then you'll be like, why the fuck do we reverse? And then you'll go on a higher time frame and see. So it's always just take a gander on the higher time frames. But that played out really nicely. Just to look at inverse fair value gap. As soon as you got that, and you got a nice candle close anyway, a displacement candle, so you wouldn't have to wait for another one. You didn't have to question if we were going up. You got displacement and an inverse fair value gap. Great. Great, 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 great. Next day, let's see. That's what I'm saying. The 3 minute is nothing to play with. I love the 3 minute chart. Less fake outs. Like even here, it's like done, higher highs, higher lows. I mean, this is a lower low, but barely. It's like a wick, and then we go higher a little bit, and then we finally reverse. But let's see what we got. I mean, this is the daily low. Previous day low there. Oh yeah, previous day high is way up there. We have Asian high. So it's looking like I said, that's why I do sessions. Sessions usually trump. But let's just see. There's no gaps, I feel like, for us to reverse from, just these liquidity points. So let's just see if we get reversal off of, or it could sweep this previous daily low. Let's see. I mean, there is a gap, a bullish gap here that lines up with the bearish gap here, but I just don't. I think the liquidity is more powerful right here, but let's see. Geez, see? Ran through that thing. Again, still not 10 o'clock, so we don't care. Still not 10 o'clock. Let's see if there's something else. Okay, we have lows here. Maybe I just want to bounce off that. That's the good thing about it. If this happened right at 10 o'clock, we would just have to... All right. We should be reversing at this point. We have this gap here. Let's see if we inverse it. Now, on a big move like this, you're not going to get a big run up like back to the top, I don't think. But you'll probably get it back to one of these lines. Let's see. I mean, it's only 12. Let's see, we push a little higher. Boom. See? Keep me around. Inverse value gap. The 3 minute, y'all, is so beautiful. Candle close. Stop loss below the low. What's the 1 to 2? I didn't think it was gonna hit all three. I thought it was gonna hit just the middle. You know me. If I have I always mark 3 options, and I usually just choose the middle. But it did. It doesn't give you 1 to 3, though. I mean 1 to 2. If you want a 1 to 2, let's see if it gives it to you. It probably will. and it doesn't. It gives you a 1 to, yeah, nah. Also, this is a fair value gap to reverse from, and this is a good retracement. This is why I said I will play a retracement. I don't give a fuck. Then it might continue lower, obviously, but to got some strong liquidity, reverse from it. But like I said, don't get greedy. Pick a line and just go on from there. And it like barely swept it. Then you could move your stop loss too if you wanted it, and that will give you a better risk reward. So that's it, y'all. That's really how you trade. Like, it's super duper simple. Just trust yourself. But I think also that's why I'm gonna stop going live, is because I'm going to watch TV while I trade like I used to. When my emotions are bad, I will put on a TV show that's very unserious. I think when I first profitable, I was watching like Gossip Girl. And then yeah, I just watch Gossip Girl. Get on the charts. Let's see if we do have that gap from yesterday. It's kind of big though. Watch a show after I'm in a trade. Obviously, like study the charts and then not just sit and watch and manage. No more stop loss to break even. If you lose, it's just a regular loss. Because I left so much money on the table today, moving myself to break even, and I was right. I was literally right in my bias. We came down, went lower, like beautiful. Beautiful. So that just is what it is. Let's continue. Alrighty. Swept that liquidity. Boom. I mean, that's 9:30 though. That's not 10 o'clock. So hopefully, I think we can still get in right at 10 and take it to these London lows. Hopefully, if it doesn't run too far. All right, see, right at 10 o'clock. I mean, it ran down a good bit though. Sadly, this is one of those days where we're definitely just taking it down for 1 to 2. Almost stopped you out. Didn't quite. It's about to. Boom. That's our first loss on the 3-minute only. And I've had a feeling because we did sweep this low here. And that's okay. You'll lose some, you win some. Let's see if it actually goes down lower, and then we just had to have a bigger stop loss. Alright, that's the end of the day. So no. It ran down. So 9:30 traders had a better trade today. We had a loss. This is trading just a 3-minute, no bias. I meant to mark 9:32 while we do this and see if it's better or worse. It's actually not even 9:30. This is almost the macro. This is 9:30, 9:39. So I used to get on 9:55. So maybe it got in a little higher, but still. That's not the best risk to reward for this little Scapiana. Alright, next one. There's only one person in the live today on each channel. Go to next New York session. Usually I have at least like 25 people here. Maybe I need to do the links again on TikTok. Alright, we already swept previous day low. Can't even go back that far. So it's giving one of two things. It's giving, we're going to reverse, and we're going to rebalance this big move here. %50 is here. 60% is here. That's what's given. So we'll probably come up there and then come back lower. Let's see how that plays out. Okay, it came up. It didn't come to our 50%, but let's see if we have any signs of reversal. Not quite. We are making lower lows and lower highs though. No gaps though. So if you want it, you could take it off there, but I think we're going. See while you wait. Now we got some gaps. I noticed that too. If it's choppy and there's no gaps, like you might need to just wait for a gap to inverse or play off of. There wasn't even a gap to tap into to go lower. Like a gap here to go lower. It wasn't any gaps in here. All right. Boom. That's our entry for sells. Stop loss above the high. Let's just see if we can just take it to the low that was just made. Not anything done. Not getting too greedy. Let's see. This is again trading off just a 3 minute. And we're going to keep going higher. Stopped out. So this is why you should use some higher time frame bias. This might be one of those trades where I just want to keep going up to take out buy side. I've seen this happen. In news, it is a little scary because I've seen it where it does just come up and keeps going lower, and I've seen it where it just comes up and takes out the high it made at news at 8:30. I've seen it do both. When does it do either one? I don't know. And now that's 3 p.m. So even 9:30 traders, we didn't really get much. You probably were just in, if you just bought buys and you knew, but there's not really any confluence here to be like, oh, getting buys. I'm trying to see if there's anything we could have. There is a breaker here for buys if you wanted it. We broke structure, came back into the structure for your power of 3, and then ran up. So let's see what that risk to reward would look like. I was confident in, so that's why this is exactly why I also don't like going in with the bias. I don't like having a bias because I'll just look for sales at this point. I like to just let the market play out and show me where it wants to go. But I wouldn't have gotten off this. I would have waited for a candle close, and then it wouldn't have been a good risk for me. I would have waited for like this candle to close. So it wasn't that much for me in the sense. But this is a nice little power of 3 right here. Let's see if it would have showed you something on the 15-minute. Because that's why I use the higher time frame. Okay, on the higher time frame, yeah, this wick here on the 15-minute would have. This is a nice hammer candle. So this wick here would have been the wick that I would have entered off of and done something like this, which is a little better than that other candle, but not much. Not like having your bias, if you had a buy bias, set at this breaker. So that's why you use your, your higher time frames, not just the 3 minute. But some people do. Some people just trade 3 minute, 1 minute, and they just trade liquidity to liquidity, and it works for them. Okay, looks like we're market maker selling to these lows, but also could reverse off these London lows to take out these Asian highs. It's equal lows. It's actually equal lows down here. Let's see. Let's see. 10 o'clock. Also thought about getting back on at 9:32. Now that I'm watching on higher time frames and bias, I can like catch the top or bottom moves. It didn't really matter today though, but all right, swept. Got a little semi-reversal thing going on here. Let's see if you can take it to these highs. That's how some people trade. Just some of the best traders out there trade these little liquidity to liquidity moves. I don't know if we're gonna go up there though. I'd wait for more confirmation, but like that. That's just this screams pullback to me. And you know what it screams? This gap here. But again, that also wasn't 10 o'clock, so it didn't even matter. What up, Tay? I'm actually about to get off. But pull back, lower, then we inverse this gap. Because like I said, it's giving market maker sell to the previous day low. That would have been my entry here. Small trade, but you gonna stop me out? Boom, both were losing trades, so you would have lost. So this is a prime example of not trading just the 3-minute chart. Trade the lower time frame charts. I mean higher time frame charts as well, even though it didn't help much on this one either. Because this was a nice reversal. If you like, we were going up, it went up a little bit, and then we didn't get it, and then you got it at 10 o'clock. This is actually just a prime example of why I say I just trade at 10 o'clock. Yes, 9:30, you sometimes 9:30 gets the move and you don't, but half the time 10:30 will still give you a nice trade. And if it goes and takes up this high like I originally called, that's a prime example of why. Boom, it did. You see how I was taking the reversal of this inverted value gap, if y'all needed to see it, before 10 o'clock? I wouldn't take it though, because I stopped doing that. Or I'll take a trade before 10 o'clock, but it's like right before, like the 5 minutes before, maybe tops. And then it ran lower and stopped you out. And then it gave you the trade. That's why it's like, I just wait for 10, because most of the time it'll give me an entry anyways, or it will let me know just not to trade that day. A nice trade there. But yeah, we haven't had a lot of people in the chat, so I'm going to go. Because I've been backtesting on my own anyway, and I'm still going to backtest either way if people are in the lives or not, because I'm doing this every day for myself. But like for anyone who just joined, I've been trading on the 3-minute chart, obviously doing higher time frame biased. Tay, you saw today, I entered on the 3-minute chart. Worked out beautifully. Obviously, I moved my stop loss to break even, so it did not work as beautifully for me as I wanted it to. But however, I called it beautifully, market structure shift. And after I keep telling you, the sessions indicator, it helps, because usually if you sweep one side, like people talk about daily profiles, I don't really believe in them in a sense, but I do. You can just see them. Like there will be a day where we've been consolidating on Asian and London, so we swept London. We're distributing. Then there's days where London kind of sweeps up, so we have another great distribution. But then there'll be days where it's like this, where they're side to side evenly, and then we do a power of 3 and go to the upside. So you can just kind of tell, like if we sweep one side, especially at 10:30, like 9:30, you might not know it's T. Well, 8:30 still swept this, so y'all were good. But like you'll know if one side's already swept, we should look for buys. You know, if the buy side is already swept, this was a day where it was weird. We just kept going down to like a daily fair value gap, but we came up, swept this liquidity, and went lower, but we didn't sweep any of the 8. And this is the day that I thought we were going up, because we already had swept all 3 of these. I thought we were going up. So it didn't play out that day. But like this day, we were already above sells to the downside. You know what I'm saying? There's so many here. We already swept the buy side. We're going to the sell side. Like it's just easy with the sessions indicator on. Then obviously we had like 1 hour bias. We had a 1 hour for value gap we were in. That was just so beautiful. And we traded out of it and got in those sells this morning. And then FOMC delivered a beautiful move as well. It gave, for those who trade FOMC, we had our data high, data low. We took out the daily high of yesterday. And then we got a nice inverted fair value gap here. And then you can take this trade to the daily low, which was what I wanted. I mean, I did not want that this morning. I never do daily low. That's why I marked those other 3 in between, because I know it'll hit those sessions or regular ones before it hits the daily low. It won't always hit the daily low. It'll either hit one or the other, or neither sometimes. But great price action today, actually. I know it looks a little choppy on it, but this is what normal price action, this is what normal trading looks like. I know we've had lately, especially in my lives, because I know some people are like, this is crazy price action. It's really not. Like, I know we're used to getting this, but you still got a market structure shift. You have to let things play out and draw down, and it will go down. That's just normal trading. This is what normal trading looks like. I know we've had some good runs lately in the morning where you get in and it just tanks like this. I honestly got used to those, and that's why I think I started moving my stop to break even on my own, because I was so used to those that when it does this, I'm scared. But it's like, no, this is normal. The price is zigzag up, zigzag down, it consolidates. We were at 8:30 open. Like you're usually gonna zigzag anyway. Like at a fair value gap, you saw how we had that big ass fair value gap. Of course, we're gonna trade a little bit sideways. It's just normal. You saw the day I got funded. We traded like this for like 2 hours and then it tanked. But I got my confirmation that we were changing the state delivery before it went to trade sideways. When we got that here, we got changing the state delivery. We got a liquidity sweep, a beautiful. Honestly, could have just gotten at this breaker. That would have been nice. But this tapped into that pullback. This was a 15-minute fair value gap that I wasn't paying attention to. Cause I said it, I wanted a higher one, but I said like it's gonna tap into a 15-minute fair value gap. I marked one way up here for some reason, and it was one sitting up here, and it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's this gap. I know it's like my chart is always sometimes so much because so many gaps stack on each other. But it was this bearish gap here on the 15-minute that we came up into. And then we reversed beautifully. This is why I say you can really just trade the 15-minute chart. Like you really can. We didn't really get a market structure shift. We didn't get a candle close first. We got all these wicks. But you would have seen my entry was not that much lower, but either one, they're both great. So yeah, I'm gonna keep paper trading. I'm not gonna trade live. I gotta get my bearings back. I'm gonna put on a TV show. I've been watching SVU, has 50 billion seasons. If you need help with emotions and holding trades and not moving your moving your stop loss to break even, put on a show. Put on a TV show. I used to do it all the time, and then obviously you look at the show, look back, or look at a podcast. I used to watch Words of Wisdom or Forex Beginner podcast, and just watch something to not just sit at your trades and like move your stop loss. Like you'll hear it. You'll hear Ninja Trader say or Tradeovate say stop filled, and then you'll be like, oh, I won, oh, I lost. It's so much better because price is just gonna price. And if you're on a certain time frame, like that day I got funded, it went way up here, almost topped me out, but it went up to a 1 minute for value gap that I just was never gonna see because I don't like the 1 minute anymore. So it's nothing to be, just have your stop loss at the high of the reversal or the low of the reversal. No matter where you get in, you have to have your stop loss there. It can play out almost all the way down to the here and then still go your way. Same with here or here if you got it on this inverted value gap. So yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I'll go over the trade I took, and we'll keep back testing, and then we'll go back to just regular back testing the regular way, higher time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour daily, and then 15 and 3 minute for our executions. And yeah, hopefully I can go back to my live account, funded account on Monday and get a payout before the month is over, and grow my account back up, but we'll see. I'm in no rush. My original goal was to open the Discord on Black Friday, which is so far away. But obviously, now that I'm funded and stuff, I would like to get payouts before then and open it. I don't want to open it without payouts or without growing my live account because I'm not a fraud. But I think I might open it anyway for dropshippers. There's a lot of dropshipping gems in there, and it's about to be Q4. So they need to be testing products now for Black Friday. So I might open it to dropshippers, but then the live trading stuff in there will be dead. So, but I'll see y'all tomorrow.
That video that I made almost a year ago is gaining traction again. It has like 500 extra comments, likes, shares, all that stuff. And a year ago, I didn't know why I felt uneasy by people not distinguishing the difference between hijab and veiling or other practices of covering their hair. But now, a year into the future, I know why I don't
YouTube.
like it.
Sorry.
I asked the question,